This is our first anthology. As though I am a lover of spoken word. By the way, my name is Pitman Browne. Would like to honor the fact that Nezzle Saunders has opened her door in order to allow for an interview to take place. So my first question, how long have you been an author?
Okay, I've been writing 85.
Oh.
Yeah.
I describe 1985 as a year of the head that is bursting the bubble. My year, that same year, I met you for the first time. I wonder if you could explain, how did you come to meet me?
I visited a friend in West Bridgeford back in the 80s by the name of
Iris Wills.
Iris Wills. Yeah, she was having a prayer meeting, and because I was a Christian, I decided to attend. There I met you, Pitman Browne. She introduced you to me, and from one word to another, we got talking, and you told me that you was a writer, and you told me you write poetry, etc. So I says, oh, I wanted to write, but I don't know where to start. I kept getting this inspiration of writing, but I really don't know how to start.
And that is the point at which I took the opportunity of introducing you, and under the umbrella of the UKD Centre, I invited you to come along on a Tuesday evening. How did you feel when you came to meet all 12 of us sitting in the round?
I was a little bit amazed when I understand that you were all writers, and I thought, how am I going to fit in here? But you introduced me, and their introduction gave me an uplifted thought. You introduced me as a writer, and I thought, a writer? More so, you said Nezzle is a potential writer. And I thought, oh dear. I didn't even write 6 poems at that time. Maybe I just started to write maybe 1 or 2. But when you use the word that I'm a potential writer, I thought, well, this is something, I'm going to work up to that.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, which I did.
You make me feel elated. Yes, there and then I was trying to bring you into appropriate identification with a literary circle of African Caribbean writers. None of us published books, not at that point. Taste buds of the literary, there's a garden bed flourishing with European writers, and we needed to make a contribution. I'm so happy that you said, can you remind me of anything that you wrote or shared with us during that period? 1980s. I can remind you.
Yes, if you would give me a minute to look through this book, I remember there's a particular poem I wrote on behalf of your baptism. When you got baptized, I forget what's the name of the church now, but I was at the baptism, and when I left,
Thomas Hill was
something
Baptist.
like that. When I left, some thoughts began to flow in my mind, and I thought, well, I'm going to have to write a poem on behalf of this young man. who introduced me to this writers group. So I called it The Baptism. That was the title I gave to it, The Baptism.
Input. Because, for instance, this is our first anthology. And shall I say what is unique about this anthology in 1983 is that Nezzle Saunders was not in these pages. Why? Because she was so busy getting on with a divine inspiration. Number one, divine inspiration. Number two, autobiography. This is her first autobiography. So she is an institution. People like Christine Bell, Martin Glynn, those were the writers and performance poets of that time. So I am trying to say to you now is that you was a source of empowerment right here in Nottingham. Now, why is that? It's because there were not many writers from the African Caribbean. So can I ask you about your offspring? Has any of your children?
One of my daughters, Madge, she has written a few books. I can't remember all the titles, but she has been writing after I started to write. And then another one of my daughters called Jasmine, I don't think she has published a book yet, but she has written some lovely poems. Yeah.
From that we can see the point implicit here now is that once a pebble is dropped in the water, Nezzle Saunders constitutes an atom, carries power and radiance, and it begins to spring, I call it a hotbed of molecules, because all her children, I used to come to some of your book launches, and your children, so it's almost like the ring of the water spread in all their radiance and influence. Now, at one time you went overseas. Now, where did you go? I know you've been to a number of places. Can you tell me at least one or two of the places and when you went to these places, you brought some of your books?
So I went to Germany and I did some work with those people who was interested in writing, including school children and adults. And then there was another time I went to America, where I also was invited to a school after they heard about me, through one of my daughters who was living there. I was invited to a school to do some of my work with them. And I went to Jamaica, where I had the opportunity of reading some of my work after introducing myself to them as a writer. I had the opportunity of introducing my work on the radio station. And several other places I can't really remember now. A prize. There was a competition launched through East Midlands Arts.
Right, I remember.
To tell you the truth, I had no desire of entering, but I was encouraged after reading one of my poems. I was encouraged to send the poem in to East Midlands Arts.
Yes.
I sent it in and almost forgotten about it because I wasn't expecting a good result anyway. And fortunately, one day I received a letter to say that I have won first prize in the poetry competition.
Congratulations.
I was amazed because I wasn't expecting anything. Now, after I won the prize, my writing started to spread all over Nottingham and East Midlands Arts and a lot of places, until city councillors, I don't know how they got hold of one of my books, but they rang me to say that my book is powerful and they would like me to represent them in Germany as a writer. I was amazed and taken back because I was not expecting anything at all. However, I accepted the invitation because at that time they were paying my fare, they were sorting out the hotel where I should stay, and the groups that they wanted me to visit to do some of my work. And I thought, well, I'm going to have to write a poem on behalf of this young man who introduced me to this writers group. So I called it The Baptism. That was the title I gave to it, The Baptism.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Could you read 2 verses of it?
Yeah, I try.
Bring me back.
The baptism, it was a glorious thought, as feelings of peace and joy and love swept over all who was gathered there in order to enjoy that solemn atmosphere. The pool was unique. The candidate was prepared for baptism to undergo. His immaculate garment in color white was made for the occasion of that night.
Oh yes, it was my mom who made the white robe. Thank you so very much. It brings, it is beautiful, because when I was living in Jamaica, by the way, I'm a Jamaican, and I heard, spoken word and short stories read on Radio Jamaica. I thought I was only 10 years old. I thought, I wish one day I would be able to blossom into the arts and performance and become a poet. So you have fulfilled some of my dreams by performing your work at Radio Jamaica. And I thought this for no other reason. Now all those countries you've named, America, Germany, Jamaica, is enough now to inspire me to go forward. Now, I have a son, his name is Pitman Browne, and he writes poems. Chips fly from the block, catching you before you decide to go. I wonder if you'd like to tell us how young you are.
I don't hide my age. I tell everybody because recently I celebrated my 85th birthday.
85. Now I saw it online. Your children were gathered, and I think so. The cart and horse drawn through the streets. Yes.
No, that was when I was celebrating I think that was my 65th wedding anniversary. Because they started from the gate here, all through the city, ended up in West Bridgeford.
Oh my goodness. You see the impact that your offspring, your children, have had on your work. It is the literary part, and never mind the contribution men, women have made to become teachers, nurses, doctors. Your daughter, one of them is a lawyer, for instance. See the offspring of chippings fly from the block. I give thanks for this wonderful, inspirational interview. And long may you live. Thank you for smiling so graciously.
Yeah, thank you.
For the last word. Yeah, thank you. Coming from You, indeed.
I've been on Channel 4 some years ago after I've won my competition through East Midlands Arts. I've been on Central, and I've been on radio station Radio Nottingham, and I mentioned about Jamaica already, yeah. Been on radio at Jamaica. I remember it's such a long time. My head is not holding. Yeah, but I've been, I've had a lot of publicity, of exposure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.